Hello YouTubers, welcome back to the workshop. A couple of weeks ago I did a project and I explained at the beginning I've got a shelf in the garage with loads of unfinished projects on, and I thought it was about time I sorted it out and either chucked it away or did something with them. I made a nice little lidded pot last time, and what I want to do this time is I've got this big old chunk of walnut. And you can see I've started working on it. I think I'd intended to make just a nice little pot. You see on the end there, can't see that, I guess the camera's picking up, but it's split. The splits are radiating out from, that was the centre pith of the, I don't know whether it's the actual trunk or maybe a big branch of the tree, and I filled it with resin and green filings. It does give it quite a nice sort of star shape. I've done exactly the same on that side. Anyway, so I'm going to get it on the lathe and I'm going to use some Milliput and then we'll hollow it. So that's the plan at the moment. It may change as we go through. Stick with me, see what happens. So, as you see there, I think it was so long ago that I did this. What's happened is the wood shrunk back, but all the filings and everything that I put in there have stayed obviously in the same place because they won't move, and that is quite proud all around there. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is give that a good sanding. I quite like that shape. I think I'll leave it like it is, and I'm going to put a strip of Milliput in there. So I'll sand all that right down. I'll get back to you after I've done that. So I've sanded that all right down now, and I'm going to cut some grooves in there for my Milliput. So the very first thing I want to do is go in with my 1/4" parting off tool and go in somewhere around there. And then what I want to do is leave the same size gap . Just bring my pencil around to there, and then I'm going to go in with a double width of that. And then I want to leave the same gap again. And go in again. Now let's mix up some Milliput. So today I'm going to be using Milliput. I'm going to be using standard. I'm going to be using black and turquoise blue. So we start off with the standard. We need half and half. And what we have to do now is squidge these two colours together until they're one uniform colour. And if you watch my previous video you can turn away now, but if you haven't, what I tend to do is I like to use the rolling method. So roll it, fold it over, twist it, roll it again. Roll it, fold it, twist it, fold it. I'll get back to you when I've done that. Alright, I've been mixing that for too long. That's all the uniform colour, and we can work that into the bowl now. So I've rolled that right into a nice thin line, and then we just fill that. Just make sure it's all pushed well down in. As always said, in Milliput we want it in. Don't want to make sure there's no voids, and at the same time we want it slightly proud. I'll get back to you when I finish that. So it's pretty good. It's all squidged in all the way around. Now I just want to do that one exactly the same. So again, just rolled that all out. That's all exactly the same. I'll get back to you when that one's done. This one is the turquoise blue. So it's the same thing. 2 equal amounts. And just keep kneading them. I'll just carry on doing the roll and twist. I'll get back to you when that's done. That's brilliant. That's all the colours have all mixed in. Lovely turquoise colour. And I'll just put that to one side, because what I want to do now is use a piece of black. Same thing, I'm going to fold it, roll it, mix it up. I'll get back to you. So there we have, bit of blue, bit of black. And what I'm going to do now is mix them together. And what I'm hoping for, and I think maybe I should have practiced this on something else first, is for those to come together and just end up like a piece of marbling. Actually, I bet that'd look quite nice if I put that in like that. I reverted back to plan A and I've mixed that right up. And what I'm hoping is when I put that in, I'll get a nice marbling effect like that. What I'll also do, some of those where there's a lot of black in there and it's quite straight. As I put that in, I'm going to twist it like that. So let's start putting this in. That's pretty good. I like that. I'll get back to you when I'm finished. Alright, that's that all done. I'm going to take the chuck off the lathe, take that up in the house. This last time I left it down here, it didn't seem to want to go off very well. Well, here we go, YouTubers. I've had it up in the workshop for a couple of days now. I've been really busy just lately, don't trying to get it done. So that's gone off really well. There is one thing I say about wood turners, is that we don't actually make mistakes, we just have redesign opportunities. And this is a redesign opportunity. Because I'd taken this up into my kitchen and it was plonked on the kitchen table like that. And as I'm looking at it, I suddenly realised that's the way up I originally turned that. Narrow at the bottom, big at the top. There's a nice bowl. And I've now put my stripes there, and they should actually be in there. So I do have two opportunities here. One, I can carry on and turn it and have a bowl like that. I could turn it all away and make something a lot smaller. Or I could just turn that and have that with the lines on the bottom. Now, I've never turned one with lines on the bottom before, and I think I might do it, see what it looks like. Let's do that, see what it looks like. Chuck screw back into the lathe, and I'll just clean this up now. Again, I'm just going to use my skew chisel. You see the wood chippings just coming off of there, so I know I am pretty much down as far as I want to be. There we go, that's all done. I don't know if that shows where I've used that across the end grain with a scraper. That's torn that up a little bit. That's going to take some sanding to get that back. So I'll do, getting sand that down, I'll get back to you. Right, so I've sanded that right down to 800 grit, because that is a resin that does need a good polish on there. I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah, we can just go with some sand sealer on there. As always, that's really going to bring that grain out. to apply some wax. See that beautiful shine coming on there already. And that is beautiful. Let's just turn that around and hollow it out. This is absolutely beautiful. All this dark green coming through. I've got 2 pith centres there, and all filled with a gold, lovely dark walnut. That does look beautiful. So first thing I'm going to do is put a big forcing bit down through there, just to help me hollow that. So we've already gone in there with I think it's about 20 or 30 mil forcing bit, and I'm just going to go in there with my large forcing bit. I apologise about the noise because I've got my air scrubber going. Just to make a good check on the depth. So I've done all that work, the last thing I want to do is go through the bottom there. It's 55 mil and it wants to be around 100, so I've still got plenty to go through there. I'll get back to you when it's finished. Just a little interruption to this video, YouTubers. I've been wood turning for 6-7 years now, and in that time I've turned, I don't think it'd be an exaggeration if I said thousands of bowls, and I have never ever done this before. I just made a comment online saying I must check the depth of this because I don't want to go through the bottom of the bowl, and what do? I went straight the way through. I think I had a load, I haven't laid for, I've got quite a ridge in there, and then again I had another insert in there for my chuck, and I don't think I laid for that, and that's what I end up with, a hole in one. Right, so I'm not going to chuck this away. This is, I've put in too much work, too much effort into this, and it's too nice a piece of wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pith or the dark heartwood from another piece of walnut I've got, and cut a round bung and put it in the bottom there and glue it in place, and hopefully it won't show up that much. So the first thing I need to do is have a poke through my wood pile and see if I can find a nice dark piece of walnut. So I found this old piece. You see that's pretty dark. That running around through there, that piece in there is pretty dark, and it runs out, you see, into there. Let's get that over onto the bandsaw and see what I can do with it. So I just took that over on the bandsaw, just to get it in some usable shape. And so I've got beautiful grain running down through there. Beautiful. On that end, you can see there's the pith of the tree that's split there. So what I'm going to do is set up on the lathe, and I'm going to turn all that away where that's split, and then just use this top piece. And because I've got that pith there, but it's not too bad there, so what I'm going to do when I put that in the lathe, I'm going to tilt that way so that I turn across there. So I turn that way first because I want to leave that, as much of that dark heartwood in there as I can. Okay, so you can see how that's spinning. So I'm going to take quite a big chunk off of there to start with. I'll turn the lathe right down because that's going to be spinning all over the place. Well, I finally got there, and this was a piece of wood that I ended up with. It is nice and dark. There was rather a lot of splits out of the piece, and they did keep breaking away. But I turned that down now. I want a reasonably tight fit inside of here, but at the same time I do want to be able to slide it down through with some glue on, just to hold it in place. So you see now I'm just gradually taking that down, just getting a nice fit. What I'll probably do is leave that the same size, and just have that first 10mm. There'll be a tight fit, and then in behind there I'll turn that all away, so it should just slide straight down in. And then the piece at the back, I can just turn that away when I turn the actual bowl away. Now I think what I can do, I'm going to put a groove in there because I want the glue, somewhere for the glue to sit. Now there is still quite a crack running through there, and I'm frightened if I part that off there, that might split away. So I think what I'm going to do is take the rest of this down below that, so that I can drive that in. Are you with me? So then that, when I turn the bowl, I can turn that away. So we should just have that a little bit shallower. That'll do nicely. Right, let's sand and polish that. So here we go. Okay, so I've got that, so it's a nice fit in there. That's what I'll do. Get a nice bit of glue around there, and I'm going to pick that up. I'll put some grooves in there, so that glue should sit down in there nicely. I want to make sure when I put that plug in, that grain running through there is in line with the grain running across there. So that's that way, and that's that way. And that's lined up pretty perfect. I don't think you get any better than that. Right, that's what I want to do. Let's just get a piece of wood to go in there, and then put a clamp on there and leave that overnight to dry. Well, I've left that overnight with the plug in there all glued up, so that should have gone off nicely. And then what I need to do is get to hollow this. So I'm sharpening my chisels up. Let's get going. As you can see, I've got pretty much down to where the plug is, and I've gone on through and drilled that out. I put a 12mm drill in there, and then I put I think it was 30mm forcing a bit in there. I was a bit worried about the sideways force of a chisel on there that would loosen the plug, whereas if you forcing a bit through there, you're actually pushing it backwards up against the stop. But as it was, all my dates were unfounded because it turned away very nicely. So I'm just coming in now. I've got my 3/8 bowl gouge, and I'm just roughing all this away. And I will swap over very shortly to a hollowing tool, because where that outer bulge is on that bowl, I'm going to need, it's quite an undercut in there, and I couldn't get in there with my chisel. And you see I'm just going in there now with my hollowing tool. I was quite pleased with this in the end. I did get a very nice finish, very even wall thickness. Not a great deal for you to see now. I'll get back to you when I finish that. Well, I sanded that down to 400. See the plug in the bottom. The other one being invisible mend. Right, now for some sand and sealer. So really that beautiful grain coming out there. And now some wax. Watch out. Oh, here you go, YouTube world. All finished. Apart from going through the bottom of there, I'm quite pleased with that. That's so annoyed with myself, I've never done that before. Pay attention. That should be the motto of the day. But that is quite beautiful, that walnut. I do like where I've followed the contour of that. You can hear how thin that wood is. What a beautiful shine on that. I think I said earlier, this is the sort of effect I was going for. I've got this in places, but it's quite pleasing. I do quite like that. And I don't think it looks out of place being on the bottom. I think perhaps if I'd have had it up in that top, I don't think it would have looked quite so nice. So, inside lovely, lovely shine, lovely piece of walnut. You see that dark heartwood running through there. Beautiful piece. Well, there we go, YouTubers. Hope you enjoyed that offering. I'm just wondering whether I had a great couple of days down in my workshop or not. Any day I get to spend out here is a good day, innit? Regardless of the outcome. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all again next week. And you look after yourself. Take care. Bye bye.